talk about hot damn mess.
So here's a thing that's kind of interesting before we get to hot damn mess. If a country of people looks up to another country of people, so like people in Thailand tend to look up to people in China. As, like country to country, not people to people.
Government to government,
no,
maybe.
Country to country.
Yeah.
Like they have more money, more resources, better military, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
All of more industry, less poor people, or whatever percentages and all that. Just however you think of countries and the comparisons to other countries. If, say, Cambodia, do they look up or look down upon China? I would say they probably look up to China.
Yeah, because,
If you look at Cambodia and Thailand.
I don't know.
Up or down. If you look at, say, Bolivia and Mexico.
I don't know.
They probably look up to
Mexico, I would imagine.
Mexico and the U.S.
Mexico looks up to the U.S. because...
Mexico and China. And see, this is my thing. From what I see, Mexicans look up to people in China.
Yeah.
They look up to, as countries, as all the metrics that you could use. And
I've met a lot of Mexicans that want to move to China.
But we moved thinking that we were going up.
Yeah. Now, we knew our pay was going down, but we didn't know we were going to get all the nonsense that went along with Thailand. I mean, we have very similar issues as in Thailand.
Yeah.
But let's talk
about... Thailand was under a coup.
Right. And rules changed literally twice a day.
Whereas Mexico, they're not under a coup that I know of.
No, they just
they don't have any.
They don't like.
But they don't have any kind of political instability across the entire country that's going on right now. Not really, no.
No.
So I think that's where the real issue is coming in. That Chinese people tend to look up to, or Mexican people tend to look up to Chinese people. Chinese people look down on the entire world.
Yes, they do.
People don't realize that, but they do. And Chinese people, they are essentially looking up to everybody in the West. Mm-hmm. Mexico's not one of those countries.
Right.
You know.
So, hot damn mess time. When we first arrived, our old school was supposed to get visas for the children. They were supposed to pay for these visas. Now that we don't work for them, the kids still don't have their visas. We got a message on Monday saying that Aaron's is ready. It took them 10 months and 1 week to get the visa. Keegan still is not ready. And now we have to pay close to $900 to get their visas. I was told yesterday that the guy's pretty sure that their visas will be valid for a year.
From the time
they're issued.
So when they get their fingerprints and all that, and they get their card.
Yep. But we have to take them to Mexico City, which is a 3-hour drive from here. We have to go and then get their pictures taken, and then we have to go to the immigration. We don't speak enough Spanish to do this, and nobody in immigration speaks English. When I said that, he didn't believe me that nobody spoke English. And then he said, oh, well, you should get the card the same day. And I looked at him and I said, that's not how it works there. This is not
Puebla.
I said, that's not how it works there. You do your fingerprints and give the pictures, and a week or two maybe later, they issue the card. Sometimes if the single machine for a city with 18 million people.
No. 100% wrong.
How many?
That is not, that's not the number of people. We're not dealing with Mexico City.
No, but that's where they have to go to print them.
We're dealing with Tlalnepantla.
Right.
And it's their office that we're dealing with.
It took a friend of ours 3 months to get her card printed.
Well, that's because the machine was down.
The machine was broken. There was only one machine. So then I told him we will have to go back to Cinematography and get the cards. And he's like, no, they should give him the first day. And I'm like, dude, that's not how it works.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And last time we had to
There's
pay.
not even no expectation for that.
Right, we had to pay another 2,000 pesos to have them mailed to us from the lawyer because we weren't going to drive back another 3 hours to pick them up the next day after we moved. So we're still waiting to hear on Keegan's, but I was told that we needed to print this form out from the website and take the form to any bank and just pay for Aaron's visa, and then we can take him. And I said, well, what happens if we're only here for a few more months? What then? And he said, oh, well, you could just not get the visa and just end the process and pay the overage fee. But I don't know what that would be, and it's probably more expensive. It's not more expensive.
Yeah, but you're talking about overage when we finally leave the country.
Yeah, it's like for their individual visas, each of them are 4,271 pesos. For the maximum overage fee, it's 3,000 pesos per person. Why would I do the visa?
I don't know.
That's saving me a lot of money.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's saving money and headache.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Nothing.
All I know is
nothing
we
here.
have to hire somebody to drive us and
But we
drive
also
us back.
need someone to go with us.
Yep.
And we can't rely on this lawyer group because the way that he said it, you don't work for the school anymore. So it's like basically
You're on your own.
yeah, you're essentially on your own. You basically have to pay us for all of our time too because you don't work for the school. Even though all this stuff was supposed to be done while we worked at the school.
Yep.
It wasn't supposed to be. The school paid for us to take a whole special trip just to get this process going, and then the process didn't start until we were almost gone. It's literally one of the most frustrating countries we've been in so far. Mm-hmm. And it's the people. It's not policies. It's the individual people that are raising the blood pressure.
Yeah.
To a point where I have to take lots of medicine for it now.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed how my blood pressure has come down.
Yeah, since you've been
Since
home.
I stopped. I mean, the way I felt on a daily basis going to that school, just walking in the door, was such a negative experience.
Well, it wasn't just when you were going to walk in the door. Anytime you were working on something for school, anytime you were thinking about getting ready for work, your whole entire demeanor changed. Your body changed. The way your face looked. Not just the stress, but like
Not just the normal ugly.
You're not ugly. But I could tell there was something. So the day before you sent in your resignation, I could really tell you were thinking about what in the hell am I going to do? Am I going to go back? Or am I going to not go back? And your blood pressure went up. And I could see it on your face.
I have like the cartoon meter thing where
Yeah.
you just watch it go.
Yep, it's
That's
a
why we need
real
the
thing.
to show the.
So you had to leave that school for your health. There's no.
And that school was 100% bad on top of bad on top of. I mean, at every level of the school, it was bad.
Yeah.
There was nothing good. I had, like everybody always says, is there anything where you could say something positive? I hate this idea that you have to be able to say something positive about everything because not everything has a positive. just like every child shouldn't get a trophy.
That's right.
Because some kids suck. But, you know, it's okay to not, you know, to differentiate between good and bad. If we're not going to do that, then we just have everybody be medium. We have no good and bad. But I couldn't say anything good about this place. There was nothing good about it. And when I tried to tell people about it, there was nothing good about it. There was nothing anybody wanted to do, was willing to do, was willing to conversate about, or even talk, like just bring it up and, okay, well, how do we make it better and strategize, and nothing. There was nothing good about this place. And is there a good school in Mexico? I don't think. All these people that keep coming to Mexico and they're talking about how great it is and how happy they are and all this stuff, it just leads me to wonder, what is it that they're finding that we're not?
Right. Now, my school is not a bad school. My work environment is not a bad work environment. It's not. I have amazing resources. I have incredible support. I get lots of communication. There's a lot of professional development. This is the best school I've worked in outside of the U.S. But
what? How do you follow that up?
But it's not some of the logic. They pay a lot of lip service to this professional development and certifications and qualifications and blah blah blah. But then, yes, I might have this piece of paper, but I don't actually have to use the philosophy that I just learned, as long as the parents don't complain.
Well, you get the piece of paper so that then you can say
that
you got the piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's the important thing, right?
I was told at least 20 times this week by staff that I should speak Spanish to them during the day. And I looked at them, I'm like, I cannot.
Yes, but see, I think that's where the problem
comes. Oh, yes, you
comes.
can. It's okay.
That's why I say that's where the problem is. That's why they don't want you back at the school, because you're pointing out on a daily basis, essentially, through your lack of ability to speak Spanish, you're saying to them every day how much they need to learn English. And I think that's what's causing the issue.
My contract says...
No, it's not about contracts. Haven't you figured that out yet? They don't care about contracts.
They don't care.
They're not talking about contracts. They're talking about how do people relate to you when they can't speak English? Even though everybody is supposed to be learning English in order that they pass a test in the next few years. Everybody's supposed to be learning English. So if that's the case, why wouldn't you be, as a management team, saying to everybody, we need to keep all the native English speakers here so that our people can learn English?
Well, I said yesterday...
No. Get rid of all the native speakers and...
I said yesterday...
Because they don't speak Spanish.
No, yeah, because we have a lot that are bilingual, but we have even more who are not. In fact, they just hired 3 more this week who don't speak any Spanish. But they're not in the preschool. But I said yesterday, do I even keep taking the Spanish classes then? Because I don't need them now. The only reason I was taking them was so that I could build my vocabulary, so that then I could understand more and maybe communicate with parents if necessary. But why keep doing that why waste my 2 hours a week?
I don't know why you would. I mean, unless you just want to learn Spanish.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning a new language, but I'm tired, man. I do a lot during the day, and I really don't want to be sitting there for 2 hours a week. So, what's the point?
I don't know. I don't know what the point is. I don't know what the point outside of daily life for you in your situation to learn Spanish ever. Because if you're not allowed to speak it to the students, you're not allowed to use it in the world of the school.
Right.
if that's the case, then why were you learning it in the first place?
I mean, I do use it every day when for my Uber drivers. I do.
That's what I said. It's regular. It's just life outside of the
right.
school. But inside of the school, what's the purpose? You might as well just stop. What's the purpose in learning that language? That
now
you're not using it for what? 90% of your days?
Yeah, 99% of my day, because I only spend about 16 minutes a day in an Uber.
Exactly.
Now I've applied for several jobs in Spain, so maybe I'll keep learning it if we are going to go to Spain.
Exactly. So then it becomes useful again.
Right.
But as far as the
Spanish in Spain and the Spanish in Mexico are not even close.
Well, they're close. They're mutually
I have a mother who is from Spain, and when she speaks the Catalan accent.
Catalan?
Yeah. So when she speaks, I understand most of what she says. And when I speak, she can understand what I'm saying. But neither one of us speak the other language.
Right, but that's, like I just said, they're mutually intelligible. They can understand each other.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean a Mexican person can speak Catalan either.
No.
I mean, it just means that
I had a couple of parents last year who were from Spain as well. So.
It probably sounds more like.
They have that TH sound in there.
Oh, it's similar to what we hear from British English and American English. Or British English and, say, New York English. You know what I mean? Something like that. Not so much Southern American English, because Southern American English is closer to British English, but that's a whole other deal.
But British English has, varying dialects and
of course,
accents,
yes.
And some of them you can't.
It would be like American English and Welsh.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
All right. If you want to follow the Traveling Farrs, you can follow us on the YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, iTunes, Spotify, or the Google Podcast at The Traveling Farrs. If you like the Instagram and the Twitters, Traveling Farrs, and the email is travelingfars@gmail.com. And the blog space, thetravelingfars.blueberry.net. No E's in the blueberry. Say goodbye to the people.
Bye, people. You see words on the page, man.
Yeah, but it's easier to see the world for a camera.
Oy, life isn't always about making
This sounds like an argument, vlog versus blog, but that's a whole nother thing. Say goodbye to the people, man.
Next week's lesson.
Say goodbye to people.